Hello there! Once again, this is Anton from Anton Will Bay, coming at you with another comic book haul. These are some more stuff I found on eBay. Just kind of random lots of stuff that I picked up this week that were really cheap, and that's why I popped on them. And this is kind of somewhat bad girl type comics, but also very much the dark, horrid, horrible outlaw type books where everything has a blade and lots of people get diced up and there's lots of monsters and very, very dark comics, very much of a certain time period. Very I want to say mid to late 90s is when these really flew and really did well, but it's kind of long past that time, and that's why these books have a little place in my heart, just because these are the books you always saw on the shelves when I was younger in a comic book store, and I was just like, ugh. Look at that book. Ugh, I don't even want to open that one. That's why I thought these were so cool. Anyway, first off, we have Lightning Comics Catfight. Book I, of course, never have heard of. But I do know that it's guest starring Creed. And I do remember Creed. He was in Image Comics, I believe. So it's kind of cool to see a crossover going on like that. You get bonus for a dragon cover. She needs to be careful with that sword. The flowers look evil. What's not to like? That's pretty cool. Next up, we got Strike number 0. This is a comic by London Knight. And once again, now this is a book I have heard of, but if this isn't the most 80s looking Madonna outfit for an assassin to wear, I don't know what is. And I kind of love this look, kind of love the aesthetic of the book. And Everett Hartsoe, I don't know of anything else he's ever done. I'm not up on him. I just know he's done Strike and I think a couple variations of this title. And yeah, I was glad to get it. Glad to have it in the pile. No pile of bad girl comics would be complete without getting a bunch of double impact stuff. And some point along the history lines, somebody paid $5 for this because that's what's on that. Or maybe they didn't, and that's why it's being sold in really cheap lots on eBay. Either way, yeah, just a book from Double Impact. You'll see quite a few of them in this lot. This is Double Impact special with Helena, another character from another comic, and they just kind of crossed over. And this looks different than most of their art. Most of their art looks more like this. This looks a little bit manga-y for me. Don't know what's up with that. Haven't flipped into it yet, but glad to have it. Like I said, a lot of these particular different books or different covers I've never heard of. So, Mike Deodato's Jade Warriors I have heard of. Have quite a few different issues of Jade Warriors. They ran in a bunch of little series and mini-series, and I don't think they ever had a long run of anything, which is probably why it's kind of a mess to collect, because when they get 3 or 4 mini-series, and then let's throw in all different covers, variant covers throughout a year, who knows what the hell you're buying. And that's where I am at with Jade Warriors, and that's why it looks familiar, but I'm not positive I have it or not. Dynamite Comics, Chaos Comics. I'm not sure if this is Dynamite or Chaos. I'm pretty sure Dynamite bought out Chaos, but I'm not positive. I don't know how that stuff goes anymore. Anyway, it's Chastity number 2. It's an old Chaos character, so it's weird to see her on a newer Dynamite book. It is a later book because it does have a $3.99 cover price, which tells me it's not as old as some of these books. But, it's a pretty scary book. Looks kind of creepy. Let's roll with it. This one cracks me up. This is called Bad Apples. This is a High Impact book. High Impact is the same company who did all of the Double Impact comics. But somebody at a comic book store somewhere decided that they wanted $4.20 for it. So there's your pot joke for the video. $4.20 for one comic. This is High Impact. This is basically the Double Impact team. Jazz. I'm trying to think of the other one's name. I think it's Celine. Jazz and Celine, if I remember right. But this is a book that's just Jazz. Thought I'd share that. It is black and white. Somebody once paid $3.25 for this thing. That kind of cracks me up. This is the highest priced one I think I've seen on a sticker. High Impact, black and white. This is a 2004 limited preview edition. and they wanted $8 for it. It's a comic I hadn't heard of, obviously. I haven't heard of most of these, but you know, $8 cover price, and I paid well less than $1 for it. So moving on from there, we find I have a serious comic. I do like serious comics. I generally grab serious comics. Their art inside is super good and strange, usually done in like pencils and graphite, kind of a real hazy type paint, like sketching type way. I don't know what they call that kind of art. It almost looks like watercolor, but it's all pencil. But I very much like that art style. These are super gross. But yeah, Serious Testament, all right, Fang Testament, part 404, part 204, and a series I'll probably never see again. It's just, you know, I came into a couple of them. Full Circle, number 3 of 3. This is another book I've never heard of. I've never heard of Full Circle Comics, which I'm assuming is the comic publisher, but it has very similar art to what's on the cover. That kind of like tattoo looking type style art inside. So I dig that. We got Double Impact, number 3. One of their dozens and dozens, I'm sure, variant covers. Double Impact Helena. They did a lot of crossovers with her. Funny enough, I have both their action figures. They're quite silly. Double Impact Assassins for Hire, number 1. This is another book that they wanted an odd price for. They have $3.60 for the cover. Who knows why you would pick a weird, goofy price like that? But it's what they did. It's what they went for. Crystal Breeze, High Impact Volume 2. Another issue that they decided they wanted $4.20 for, which is rather hilarious. I can't help but laugh at that. And, well, that's what it is. Here's a book, Maximum Press, issue number 2. It's Asylum. For some reason, I have like 5 copies of this. Whatever. It features Angeline, Battlestar Galactica, Bean World, War Child. It's like I don't know. It's got a bunch of different books in it. I don't know if it's just like a press, you know, like an anthology type book, but it's Asylum is not this character. The book is just called Asylum, and it features these characters, so thought that was weird. Oh, another High Impact Studio. Another issue of Bad Apples. Another one that they wanted $4.20 for, which is just stupid. Another book featuring Jazz. It's the magazine cover variant. Made to look more like a fashion magazine. It doesn't. It fails at this. Issue number 3. They had a lot of failed variants. Just another issue of Jazz. This one, I don't even know the issue number because they never bothered to put it on there. But there it is. And Codename Double Impact. What a raunchy cover. $5 is what they wanted for this thing originally. They'll never get that for it. And it is what it is. And then Double Impact, Volume 2, Issue 2, Natural Burn Curves. I don't know who was into these. They do wind up in my collection when I buy like lots of Bad Girl stuff. Not my favorite, but they are an entertaining read every now and then just before their ridiculousness. You got Red Fury, another Double Impact book. Or High Impact book, I should say. This is one I hadn't heard of. The art on the cover doesn't look horrible. As long as you just glance at it, the longer you look at it, the more things you'll find are off and aren't the same size. And we have Double Impact. This is another book they wanted $5 for. This is number 2. In the US, it was $2.95. In Canada, it was $4.20. Maybe that's where they're getting the $4.20 price. But who knows? Here's number 5. If you have a hard time telling the covers apart, you're not alone, because all of the covers look virtually identical. They all are this mess of ladies and leathers and spikes and guns and swords and stuff. Because this is issue 5, and this is clearly issue 2, and it looks exactly the same. Would be easy to find on a shelf because it always looks the same. Anyway, hope you like this video. Hope you like this weird assortment of raunchy, strange comics. If you do, hit a like. Anyway, that's my story, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.